All right. Hey there, nerdpreneurs. Welcome back to Market Like a Nerd and get ready to geek out with me because today I'm joined by text message marketing expert, David Pitts. Whoop, whoop. Hey, David.
Hey, Amanda. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for being here. Welcome to Nerdpreneur Nation.
I know. I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, we are stoked to have you. Now, for everyone who is listening, just so that you know, we are talking about something kind of different here today. I'm really excited about it. I have never seen anyone else out there in the marketplace teaching this. So you heard it here first. David here is going to be talking about how to use text message marketing in your business to make more money in your business and generate more leads in your business, which is super cool. So first, let me tell you a little bit more about David, and then we're going to talk about text message marketing. So David Pitts is the co-founder of Off Day Trainer, a text messaging platform built specifically to help fitness professionals better connect with their network and ultimately grow their business. As a former gym owner, a fitness sales manager, and a personal trainer, David knows fitness. More importantly, he knows how to make fit pros successful using technology to make their sales cycle faster and client retention last longer. Now, while he's an expert at fitness sales, just know that what we're going to learn today around text messaging you can apply to your business no matter what the industry is, right? So that is the story and the overview of David here, but you guys know we like to get to know the real David. So before we get into the meat of today's episode, let's have some fun. You ready, David?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So some easy ones first. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Yes. Sprint or marathon?
Sprint.
Oh, interesting. Would you rather never be able to text message ever again or only be able to communicate with people through text?
Never text again.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fair. And lastly, most importantly, imagine you have the magic to make people healthy just by glancing at them. But every time you use your magic, you gain an extra pound. Do you choose to gain weight by using your magic on everyone that you see so that they can enjoy the healthy lifestyle, but you gain the weightage? Or do you protect your sweet bod by locking yourself in a room?
Wow, that is such a great question. How creative can you get here? I think I'm gonna give some of it away. I think I'm gonna share the love, and I'm gonna look around and try to help as many people as I can get healthy and fit.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it'd be kind of lonely locking yourself in a room just to protect the bod.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's all about giving. So yeah, I'm gonna give the health and fitness away.
Aw, I like you. All right, guys, that was fun. We got to get down to business though, right? So David, you told me you're going to share with us your ninja secrets for using text message marketing in your business. Can you go ahead, get a little OCD for us, break it down into the 3 to 5 main steps or tips that you have for us today?
Yeah, first and foremost, it kind of goes without saying, but you're going to have to get everybody's phone number, right?
Yep.
So if you have a massive list of customers or prospects, rather than just collecting their email or connecting with them on social media, you're going to have to get their phone number. Mm-hmm. And the reason you want to do this is because text messaging is the number one form of communication that exists today, and it's not even close. People are literally more likely to answer your phone or to reply to a text and answer your phone call. So I
don't even answer my husband's phone calls. I actually told him if he's going to call me, he has to text me first.
See, that's why I wanted to get in the business of text messaging. Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, you're going to want to collect cell phone numbers of everybody that in your network, whether they're prospects or clients. And then if we're speaking to your prospects, make sure that you follow up with every single one of them within 24 hours of acquiring that lead. And we have studies that show 24 hours, if you wait past that barrier there, then you're highly going to have missed the opportunity to close that deal or to gain that client. So make sure you're either reaching out.
I imagine it's similar to like to email marketing, where that first email often sets the precedence for whether or not they're going to continue opening and clicking on the emails. So if you fall short on that first email, it sets a bad precedence and it decreases the likelihood that they're going to continue opening, continue clicking, continue buying. So within those 24 hours, that's when you get to set your precedence.
You're absolutely right. And I don't know how many people who I've spoken with and people that I've consulted who have said they do email immediately, but they lost the prospect because either the prospect didn't check their email in time or it hit their spam folder and they didn't necessarily get it. So with a text message and the read rate of a text, 98% of text messages are read in 5 minutes or less, right? So when you send somebody a text, they're definitely going to see it. So it's real important that you understand the power of this deliverability here and really craft your message to show these leads how much you care about them and how much you want to help them.
Yeah.
So step one, make sure you're collecting phone numbers on everyone. Step two is either call them. I'm not opposed to calling, but you're likely going to end up leaving a voicemail. And then what I would recommend is text them and say, hey, I left you a voicemail, would love to connect, learn how I can help you, and so on and so forth.
Now,
so
before you move on to the third step, I want to take a step back to this first one, because you're saying make sure you collect their phone numbers. And there's probably some like super geeky marketers on here who know exactly how to do that. But for everyone else, so what are some strategies that you can share for the best ways to actually get people to give you their phone numbers so that you can do the rest of these steps?
Sure. So I guess it depends on how we're discussing the lead generation component of this. If you happen to be talking to someone or you get a referral or something like that, simply ask them for their phone number, obviously. But let's get serious. Online marketing and stuff. What you're going to want to do is, whether you're running ads on social media or you have it on your website, what you're going to want to do is place an opt-in form, similar to what you're likely already doing now. When you capture a lead's a name and email address, you're just going to want to put a field there that collects their phone number as well, and make it very clear, cell phone or mobile number. Most people put that anyways.
Do you make it optional?
But having that is imperative. Some people do. So here's the challenge is if you make it optional, you're probably going to get more leads coming in through email. However, the challenge here is the average person walks around with 3 email addresses, right? So A, what are the chances that you're going to give me the right email? And then B, is it going to go into your spam folder, or is it going to get into your inbox? And then thirdly, you may not get the email, and then you're getting the people who aren't necessarily as interested because they gave you an email. So when you put the phone number there, you can make it optional, and that's great. But I'm a fan of requiring that. And actually, with a lot of the campaigns I do, I won't even necessarily ask for an email, which some of my team and I go, we butt heads on. But I'd rather have less qualified, less leads that are more qualified than the other way around. A whole bunch of leads who aren't really interested. They're just kind of looking to see what kind of free stuff they can get, how far it goes before they have to commit to anything.
This is really interesting too, because I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine in the industry who basically said to me that she was tired of this this whole approach where you just try to, build like a really, really big list and then like hope that people buy from the list. And she, recently I actually decided to test this. I decided I'm not going to email my list. I'm not going to post in my Facebook group. I'm not even going to promote I'm not even going to do any more these podcast episodes for a while. I'm not going to, do my vlogs for a while. I'm just going to have really, really targeted conversations. So rather than talking to a bunch of people, I'm just going to talk to a few people. And I made $500,000 in 90 days just by talking to like the right people. And so we were having a conversation about this, like maybe this is the new way to go. Like maybe this is the direction that marketing is going in. Rather than trying to cast a wide net, you go for intimacy. You go for the highest quality leads because they're the ones that are going to convert. So those are the ones that to really focus your attention on.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And you're speaking my language when you start talking to the relationship of your customers and so on and so forth, because that's my bread and butter. That's what I do. I genuinely care about people, especially my clients, and I just want to help them. So rather than obsessing, I mean, so many people in most industries are so obsessed with like the lead generation and building their list and looking for new money that they lose sight of what's probably in front of them, which is a solid client list that is willing to pay them forever if they deliver the services and the experience that they possibly could. So if you focus more on your current clients and delivering a world-class experience and really serving them and connecting on a personal level, no matter how many people you're working with, your retention is gonna improve, and you're gonna make more money through them. And then, obviously when you put out value like that, you start getting a reputation and referrals, and the snowball effect occurs.
You just became one of my favorite people.
Good.
All right, guys. So yeah, right. It's crazy how this works when you actually pay attention to your clients and your service. The rest just kind of happens. But okay. So step one, you have to get their phone number. And what you're saying here is the means of which you would collect that information can vary based on how the lead is coming to you. Like obviously if you're speaking on stage, you might give them a number to text. If you're, just like talking to them in person or getting a referral, you might just ask for the number. If you're like using Facebook ads, you might send them to a page where you actually require that they put their phone number in. And you said you're kind of ballsy and you don't even get their email sometimes. You just go for the phone number, which is kind of cool. So you collect the phone number. That was step one. Step two is you have to follow up within the first 24 hours, because you said studies have shown that that is, how did you word that? Like that's typically going to impact whether or not you're going to get the sale later on.
Yeah, you're more if you don't follow up within the first 24 hours of acquiring a lead, you're likely to lose that lead for life. Either, that person just loses interest entirely, or they end up going to your competitor, right? Who maybe did follow up, or you force that lead to search somewhere else because their buying decisions, they're really interested whenever they came to you, or whenever they gave you their phone number, whatever it might have been, that's when they're most passionate about your services, and the pain points that they're experiencing are real. So it's our job to provide a solution to their pain points. And if we could hit that when their emotions are high, then we get our clients.
Yeah, get them while they're hot. Now, do you have an idea or an example of what the first text message would look like? I mean, kind of like everyone's seen the email autoresponders, but I'm sure the first text message that you send, no one really knows what that would look like. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's thanks for your interest in my business, whatever the service is. Thank you for your interest in my services. I would love to learn more about you and how I can help. Right? So you're thanking them, you're showing them how much you care. And then you want to learn how you can help them specifically, so that it's not just like this general service. But if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds, now I get into the emotions of their goals or whatever it might be, now I can start speaking to their why. And the more we can speak to their emotions and why, nobody wants to pay a trainer to help them. Nobody even really wants to lose 20 pounds. It's really what the association of that end result is, right? I want more energy. I want more confidence. Whatever it might be. So, and this works for any business. So thank them for their interest, and welcome them and ask them how you can help them.
Now, this is interesting because I imagine that a lot of the marketers are saying there's always got to be a call to action. There's always got to be a link. So that you're getting people to take the next step. But then the person, the human being in me is saying, but text messaging isn't like that. Like text messaging is more personal. So do you have links? Do you have calls to actions in that first autoresponder or the first text message? Or do you bring it in later? Like, what does that process look like, taking them? Or maybe this is your third step. Maybe I'm leading you into the third step. Like, what happens next?
Yeah, you're getting ahead here. So what I personally do is I put a link in a text, just asking them. So to get real specific, take 2 minutes and submit this form that's going to help me identify, your goals, your pain points, and really how I can help you, right? And you're still positioning yourself as somebody who genuinely cares, but you got to learn more. So we would potentially put a link in that text message. Click the link. Now you're just looking at my online form. And now it's saying something like, what are your goals and whatever, depending on the model, you can script this thing however you want, make your questionnaire form, ask them whatever type of information you want. In the fitness world, we ask things like, what are your goals? Why are they important to you? Do you have any injuries? What's your availability? What has prevented you from being successful in these past? And ultimately what we're doing is we're finding a way to kind of overcome objections before they even present themselves so that we can get them excited about working with us because we're providing a solution to them.
Now, I imagine if you're going to go all out with text message marketing, you've got to make damn sure that your pages, your questionnaires are all mobile responsive because people are going to be clicking from the text message into those pages.
Absolutely. I think, and honestly, I think even if you're not using text messaging at this day and age, all your stuff has to be mobile responsive, or you're going to lose a lot of people. I read a study once, I don't remember the numbers on it, but a lot of people, if they Google you or they look you up and your website isn't mobile responsive or it looks clunky on the cell phone or a tablet, they'll bail and it loses all credibility immediately. Yeah. So you got to get that stuff updated.
Okay.
Stat.
Cool. Okay, so get their phone number, follow up with them within 24 hours, get that first text message out there with a link to a form where you can get more information about them and like what the problems are that they're experiencing, what their goals are that they want to be working towards. What would you say happens next? What's the next step?
Schedule a call or an in-person meeting, depending on the business model. Schedule a time to chat to allow you to position yourself as the expert and the solution to the problems and make the sale.
Oh, that sounds easy. I like it. I like simple.
Yep.
What would you say is, so because that sounds so easy, I'm curious, oftentimes the easy things have like a really quick turnaround between moving someone from a prospect who doesn't even know you to a paying client. Do you have an idea of like the average time span it takes to go from lead to sale using this method?
Yeah, it really depends on the industry. And speaking to the fitness space, I mean, it's within 1 week. So, and then we also have to have follow-up messaging in place, right? We have to have systems here. So, so what happens if I send you a text asking you to submit my form and telling you how much I want to help and all this stuff, and then you don't submit my form, right? Do I never reach out again? No, we have certain systems in place that says you're going to want to follow up again within 24 hours and ask them again and just send them another personalized message that shows them how much you want to help and that you're genuinely interested and ask them to tell you a little bit more about themselves. And then when they take that step, it kind of repeats itself. Now let's get you to schedule an appointment, or let's schedule a call. And then if you don't schedule that, 24 hours later, I want to send a follow-up message.
Right.
And then after that, we wait 6 days. So we send the immediate, the 24-hour follow-up, and then within 6 days, which is 1 week from their initial opt-in, we send another follow-up message. And then from that point on, it is really up to the business model because that's where it kind of gets tricky in regards to what works best and what doesn't.
Well, it almost sounds like you're literally just applying email marketing strategies to just a different platform, to text messaging, and really maintaining a lot of those same principles and those same marketing tactics, but using a platform that gets a significantly higher open and click-through rate.
Crazy, right? I mean, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. If it's not broke, don't fix it. The problem with email marketing, and I'm not as opposed to email marketing as I might come across because we do use email a lot.
That's okay. I like someone with an opinion.
And there will always be a purpose for email, in my opinion. However, I think one of the biggest value props of email marketing is the automation and how the drip marketing that you could apply to prospects. And if you just reapply that to a more effective form of communication, now you're going to get similar or much better results.
Yeah, this is amazing. And I feel like this is the kind of thing too where you we're very much like you said that you do use email marketing, but that this is just so much more effective because it has like higher open rates. 98% of read text messages is crazy. I mean, that's just absolutely nuts. Most people no one gets 98% open rates on a mass email. It just doesn't happen. So I feel like this is one of those things where you like maybe you do keep doing the email marketing, but this is something that you've got to have a healthy list, to have the most intimate relationship with the list, because it's just like in email marketing, people say it's not enough to have 10,000 people on your mailing list if they're not opening it, if they're not engaging, if they're not clicking, if they're not sharing, if they're not responding. If you don't have an engaged list, it doesn't matter. So this is a way to apply all of those same principles, but in a significantly more engaged way.
Yeah, and engage is a great word because it's not that like I'm just sending out text messages that are being read. I mean, if you look at the action, right? So now if I put a link in that text message, the average click-through rate on that text messaging link is 36%, as opposed the average email,
1 to 3%.
Yeah, like 4 is a really good email campaign, right? And so now I'm getting 36% of the people I send a text message to are actually clicking on my link and going where I want them to go. So if I want to send a video on my YouTube page or direct them to my Facebook page or a landing page or whatever it might be, people are going to click your stuff if you send it in a link, especially if you craft the right message to get them excited about what's on the other side of that link.
That blows my mind. I'm a numbers nerd, so like 98% reads and 36% clicks. That excites me.
Yeah, I've been saying for years now, like, because I still get people who are kind of like hesitant to really embrace this model, and they just feel like from a business standpoint, texting, like you said, is personal. Mm-hmm. And I say, well, do you have a personal relationship with your clients? And they say, yes, of course. And I go, well, then the only way it's going to be invasive or even seem annoying for the end user, the recipient of your messages, is if all you're doing is pitching your product and saying, buy my stuff, buy this, buy that, right? But if you're delivering value, which in the world we live in today, like that's what people need to be doing more before trying to sell anything, is provide some value. So when I send a text out to 100 or 1,000 or whatever number of people, and every one of those people get it and they go, oh, that's cool. Or, oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome, right? When they want to receive that message, it's a completely different perception.
Right. Yeah, well, because you kind of like with email, you've got to get their permission. And in this case, they're giving you their phone number. They're expecting it. They know it's going to happen. So they're looking forward to getting the things that you send to them through text message. And just like with email, where you've got to maintain that permission by not invading their inbox, by not spamming their inbox. You can't spam their text messages either. You have to maintain the permission.
That's right.
All
Absolutely.
right. Now, here's the thing, David. I absolutely love this. Like I said, I'm a numbers nerd. I love these numbers. Before we started this, you were talking about all of the case studies that you and your clients have had where you guys have seen really amazing successes with this. So I'm totally sold. I still have questions though, but I know that we're limited on time. I want to ask you things about the softwares that you use and walkthroughs of case studies that you've done. And I've all of these questions for you. I want to make sure that our audience gets these questions answered too. So for our nerdpreneurs who want to get an A+ for effort and they're going to take that extra step to look you up online, make it a little easier on them. Where can they find you? Where can they learn more from you?
Yeah, so actually, I would love to give away a cool video we put together. It's called Business Growth Strategies. And the 3 components I talk about in this video are branding your business, marketing, and then engagement, right? So once you generate leads and once you sell these prospects, how do you deliver that experience? You got to engage with everyone. So I speak to these 3 components in this video. And if you want access to that, they could simply text the word podcast to the number 56955. Now, this is only for your U.S. listeners, and I know you're all over the world because you're a really big deal. So maybe I can just send you
a thanks.
link. landing page. I can send you a link to that landing page, and maybe you can put it in the show notes or something for your international listeners.
Yes, I can definitely do that. So if you guys are international, head over to marketlikeanerd.com/podcast. And on the show notes for this episode, we will put the link to where you can go grab the gift. And if you're in the US, go ahead and text podcast to 56955. Did I get that right?
That's right.
All right, perfect. All right, Nerdpreneur Nation, there you have it. Our text message marketing superhero has swooped in to save the day. Woohoo! Thank you, David.
Oh, thank you so much. It seriously was such a great time. You're the best. I really enjoyed being here.
Thank you. Well, we are honored to have you. This was such a unique perspective, and I'm really excited to learn more about it. So thank you. Thank you guys for listening. We hope that you learned a lot. We can't wait to hear where these tips take you, and we'll catch you next time on Market Like a Nerd. Have a nerdtastic day, guys. Bye.